Hello, I'm Justin Bell, race car driver and motoring journalist. I've been privileged to drive Velar on and off-road over the last week and really experience some of the many features and technologies in Range Rover's newest addition to the family. Occupying the white space between Range Rover Evoque and Range Rover Sport, Velar in many respects is defining its own niche with traditional competition from the likes of BMW X5, Mercedes GLE and Audi Q7 in the full-size large SUV segment, and from below, in the small compact sector, from the X3, GLC and Q5. Velar is targeting a rapidly emerging growth sector in the medium to small SUV arena, the crossover SUV, with focus more towards on-road than traditional off-road driving. Velar's stiffest competition in this segment are these two, the Porsche Macan and the BMW X4. Here we're looking at the 380 horsepower R-Dynamic HSE version of Velar, the 340 horsepower Porsche Macan S, and the 355 horsepower BMW X4M 4-litre I. Straight away, you can see similarities and differences. Just taking the dimensions for starters, Velar at 84.4 inches is 8.7 inches wider than the Porsche and 2.2 inches wider than the BMW X4. Now, the Macan and the X4 share the same height of 63.9 inches, with Velar being 1.6 inches higher. As you come around the side, you can see that it's 188.9 inches long. The Velar is 4.9 and 3.9 inches longer than the BMW and Porsche respectively. Interestingly, with the Velar, effectively what you're getting is Porsche Cayenne dimensions for Porsche Macan pricing. Air suspension isn't offered on the X4, but is optional on the Macan. That height is further increased on R-Dynamic when air suspension is deployed to 67.8 inches. The vehicle geometry of the Range Rover Velar speaks clearly of its off-road promise, but all of this is perfectly balanced by the sleek, simplified design language that communicates the on-road credentials of Velar. BMW state that the X4 boldly conquers the road. I have to say, it is indeed a bold statement. Visually, it looks the part. An aggressive front bumper and that low center of gravity show off its muscular presence. Like the Porsche, the BMW is instantly recognizable. It has those telltale signature kidney grills which instantly denote it as coming from the ultimate driving machine stable. The coupe-like roofline and its aerodynamic design flaunts sportiness. Like R-Dynamic, there are sport styling options as seen here on this model with the M Sport package. Tastefully athletic curbs, shadow line trim and double spoke wheels. Unlike Velar, however, wheel options are on the small side, 19 or 20 inch. The design team at Porsche summarized the design of the Macan in two words: broad and low. Its proportions and lines pay homage to the company's sporting heritage. Round lines with strategically positioned edges make this unmistakably a Porsche. It's close to the road and compact. Now remember, the 918 Spider still drives the Porsche design DNA, and there are clues all around. The headlights and taillights with the lava black side blades running along the bottom of the doors are also a nod to that earlier car. As you move down its profile, the window silhouette and the sloping roofline at the rear, known at Porsche as the flyline, are very 911 in styling, as is that rear spoiler profile. This is fitted with 21-inch wheels, and worth mentioning, on Velar, wheel options go up to 22 inches. A very neat exterior, typically Porsche. With the BMW X4, like the Porsche, I'm starting to find the familiarity, well, too familiar, to the point I want to change. What draws me to Velar is its design extension. For me, with its visually reductive design approach, Velar is still clearly a Range Rover. The floating roofline, the continuous waistline, the windshield into the axle, the power bulge on the hood, but not at the expense of allowing design to progress, which it so clearly does. Slim profile LEDs allow for a more aerodynamic design. Now, the refined exterior boasts tighter shut lines and less drag, thanks to those flush deployable door handles. You know, it looks so progressive, it points to the future, and for that, it's bolder and braver. The Porsche and the BMW really do feel like sports cars with some promise of off-road capability. Velar, on the other hand, communicates a perfect balance between capability and composure. For convenience, as you approach the rear of the Macan, all models are equipped with an automatic power lift function. With the tailgate open, there's 17.7 cubic feet of cargo room with the second row seats up. There's the convenience of a 40-20-40 three-way rear bench seat, which when folded flat, opens the cargo space up to 53 cubic feet. I removed the parcel shelf, by the way, but with its sloping coupe-like roofline, the height is somewhat compromised, which means one of my bags won't be coming with me. Let's see if it'll fit in the BMW. Well, as you can see with the trunk up, you're met with an equivalent 17.7 cubic feet of luggage space with the second row seats up. Again, there's the 40-20-40 rear seat configuration that when folded flat expands to a maximum of 49.4 cubic feet of space. But once again, I can't quite take everything I wanted to on my trip, especially if I've got a car full of passengers. Let's see how I get on with Velar. Well, we all know how this one goes. Your arms are full of luggage and shopping and you're struggling to reach the key in your pocket. Well, with the Velar, you no longer have to go through that ordeal. You just use this, their very cool new feature, the gesture tailgate. Put your foot behind the rear wheel and up it magically pops. Now, with the second row seats up, the Velar has a versatile load space of 34.4 cubic feet, which is 16.7 cubic feet more than the BMW and the Porsche. If the seats are folded down, well, aided by their versatile rear seat remote release levers, the space increases to 70 cubic feet. That's 17 cubic feet more than its closest rival, the Macan. Now let me see if I can fit my bags into the trunk. Well, it all fits in with room to spare. Ready for my trip? Without a doubt, the stiffest competition to the Range Rover Velar in its segment is the Porsche Macan and the BMW X4. But its elegant simplicity, a visually reductive approach, and pioneering consumer technology are the hallmarks of Velar. Features such as the unrivaled all-terrain capability, air suspension, flush door handles, Touch Pro Duo infotainment, and these LED headlights set the Velar apart from its rivals. The Macan and X4 feel very much like sports-oriented vehicles. Similarly, Velar puts me very much at the heart of the action, but with its command driving position and 20-way seat functionality, I'm in a very commanding and confident position. I feel poised to tackle both on-road and tricky off-road situations. Clusters of buttons in the Porsche are, to my mind, well, a bit clustered and cluttered. The Velar, through putting the majority of switching through the touchscreens, has made a much more refined and relaxed environment. Even though the competition enjoy panoramic sunroofs, the Velar interior feels roomier and airier. The pared-down interior layout and design, the quality, craftsmanship, and interesting contemporary mix of materials sets Velar apart. It has that progressive design feel, but without feeling over-designed or flashy. Everything feels right to the senses. For the first time in Range Rover, some very high-tech man-made materials are offered as an alternative to Windsor leather. And it's this contemporary and progressive approach that, for me, sets Velar apart. There's a harmony to both the look and the tactile functionality of the interior that exudes a relaxed and luxurious experience. Like all Porsche's other car lines, once inside the Macan, it's very familiar. High-set gear selector on this customary forward-sloping center console, really drawing you into the cockpit. it does feel very much orientated towards sporty driving. The familiar 3 dials lets you know this. The center dial being the tachometer, with the right pod being home to a high-resolution 4.8-inch color display. The buttons for the most important functions are clustered in groups on the center console. What has changed from the previous model is the new multi-function sport steering wheel. Profound sportiness continues with the piano finish black interior and the use of contrasting materials and finishes. Even the detailing on the 8-way leather sports seats reinforce the sporty genes that the Macan S has inherited. BMW state that when you're behind the wheel of an X4, you're making a statement. Its coupe-like design brings the driver close to the action. Sports coupe inspiration comes through in features like a low seating position, an optional 10-way power adjustable front sports seats, all part of the M Sports package. The M Sports package also gives you an M leather steering wheel. This has brushed aluminum trim, and the interior is very functional in feel. The power of the Macan S is transmitted to the road by active all-wheel drive. This system manages the driving dynamics and stability. This feeling is further enhanced by the optional Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus, which works in conjunction with the electronically controlled rear locking differential to give a very sports-orientated, assured drive. Steel spring suspension is standard on the S, but for an even greater dynamic performance and a high level of ride comfort, you'd have to fit the optional Porsche Active Suspension Management and air suspension. Now, moving to some of the technologies inside, the central base for vehicle information and navigation is the high-resolution 7-inch touchscreen. The new version of the Porsche Communication Management System with optional navigation module enhances your drive still further. Thanks to mobile phone integration, you can connect directly via Bluetooth. What's neat on the Macan is the system responds to hand movements. Further features include the optional driver assistance system to relieve your workload. Adaptive cruise control, including Porsche Active Safe, which regulates the speed in line with the speed of the vehicle in front. Lane Change Assist monitors blind spots, while Lane Keep Assist tracks your car's distance to lane markings on the road. There is also Park Assist, front and rear. This Macan comes with Apple CarPlay, which you can use to access the apps of your iPhone. There's also the 4.8-inch color screen, which can display a range of useful information right in front of you. The multifunction sports steering wheel, it contains buttons for telephone, radio, and the onboard computer. Porsche Car Connect offers a host of information and functions for accessing the Macan remotely. Like the Porsche, the BMW has a host of driving technologies. Working in tandem with dynamic stability control, BMW's xDrive all-wheel drive system monitors the road conditions. Once it senses excess slip, it smartly sends power to the wheel with the surest footing. There's performance control, which smoothly distributes power between the rear wheels. Variable sports steering, which adjusts your steering ratio to suit changing driving situations. Like the Porsche, BMW's iDrive 5.0 system is the hub for connectivity. It has wireless integration of apps, plus a navigation system that learns and adapts to your frequently driven routes. As part of the optional BMW Connected Drive, Apple CarPlay integrates your iPhone to BMW's iDrive system. With BMW, there are a number of packages available: the lighting package, premium package, and a cold weather package. Then there is Driver Assistance Plus, which has features like active blind spot detection, with a steering wheel vibration to warn you. But unlike Velar, no steering torque to guide your car back into lane. Finally, there's the optional technology package with features like the BMW navigation system and the head-up display. There is BMW Online and BMW Apps offering advanced real-time traffic information and BMW remote services. I have to say, I do like this wireless charging. The charging pocket in the center console allows you to wirelessly charge your smartphone. It is, however, an option. Under its sleek exterior, Velar is equipped with the latest Land Rover technologies, delivering superior comfort and capability both on and off-road. The all-new Touch Pro Duo interface, part of Land Rover InControl Technologies, really delivers flexibility and customization to you as the driver. The two 10-inch high-resolution touchscreens allow a well-integrated media experience. The BMW, with its single 8.8-inch touchscreen, although offering similar functions to Velar with a pinch to zoom and split screen options, is still smaller, more fiddly and not as comprehensive. Many of the Porsche's infotainment and map functionality is controlled by a combination of touchscreen, hard buttons and rotary dials, somewhat counterintuitive when compared with Velar. What sets Velar apart from the competition is its configurable and customizable dual-screen Touch Pro Duo, along with the 12.3-inch interactive driver display and of course the head-up display, all putting the driver in control. The capacitive steering wheel controls have those hidden until lit switches. These controls are configurable, allowing the driver to preset a specific function task to the button. This comprehensive suite of innovative features really offer the customer assistance and peace of mind. They're designed to work unobtrusively in the background, avoiding information overload. Even though the Porsche has a button on the center console that sets the Macan to off-road mode, the Porsche, like the BMW, are undeniably more road cars than the unrivaled breadth of capability that Velar offers. Design-enabled technology is central to Velar's desirability. From its Touch Pro Duo to its flush deployable door handles, Velar is a Land Rover at heart.